Okay, Army Regulation 56.3, Surface Transportation Management of Army Rail Equipment. Headquarters Department of Army, Washington, D.C., 31st August, September 2009. Unclassified summary. AR 56.3, Management of Rail Equipment. The major revisions dated by the August 31st, 2009. Assigns the U.S. Army take automotive armaments command life cycle management, command its initial requirements documentation. Um, Developer for all locomotives, rolling stock, track maintenance equipment. Designate Deputy Chief of Staff, G4 Chairman of the Inter-Service Locomotive Management Committee. Provide the U.S. Material Command with the material authority to rail functions, all material command installations. Add defensive generator rail center responsibilities, details reassigned, and properties responsibilities for the installation management command. Recommendation, General Code of Operation rules, commercial publication adopted by the U.S. Army 3.2, details of rail crew qualification course. Under new development course, paragraph 3.4 outlines new responsibility for installation, maintenance area of the field, sustainment, updates the criteria for the repair of the rail equipment to reflect new criteria for the repair of rail equipment, add numbering guide for standard commercial type and special railway cars. Appendix B outlines for 20-year program to replace the entire locomotive fleet. Appendix C. Headquarters of the Department of Army, Washington, D.C., August 31st, 2009, effective 30th September 2009. Army Regulation 56.3, Surface Transportation Mail Management, Army Management Rail Surface Management, Army Rail Equipment. Order the Secretary to George W. Casey, Jr., General of the United States Chief of Staff, Office Joe C.S. Morrow, Administrative Assistant Secretary of the Army. This publication is a major revision summary. The Regulation Implementation Department of Defense 4140 50R of the prescribed the Army Policy Command responsible for maintaining, operating rolling stock, track maintenance equipment, locomotives provided with their military railway service operating utility railroads provided with the guidance for the usual common carriers, railroad switching services, and installations. Applicability of the regulation applies to the active Army, Army National Guard, Army National Guard of the United States, and U.S. Army Reserves unless otherwise stated. Proponent and exemption authority. The proponent of this regulation, Deputy Chief of Staff G4, with the proponent with the authority to approve the expectations of waivers to the regulations that they are consistent with the controlling law and regulations. The proponent may delegate the approval authority and written with the division chief of the proponent agency, direct reporting unit, field operating agency, grade colonel, or civilian equipment activities may request the waiver regulation provided with the jurisdiction that includes a full analysis expected by the benefits must include the formal review activities, censor, legal officer. All waiver requests will be endorsed for the commander or senior leader requesting activity for forward through their higher headquarters as the policy proponent and then refer to the AR 2530. Army Regulation Control Process. The regulation does not include the management control provisions subsequent of the regulation establishment command local forms and prohibited out of the approval of the Deputy Chief of Staff, Garrison 4, DLO-FP 500 Army, Pentagon, Washington, D.C. 203100500. Suggested improvements. User and divided with the Senate comments and suggested improvements. DA Form 2028. Recommended change of publication blank forms directly to the Public Chief of Staff G4, DLO-FP 500 Army, Pentagon, Washington, D.C. 203100500. Committee and continuance of approval. The Department of Army Committee management of the officially concurred with the establishment and continuancy of the committee outlined here in AR 15.1 requires proponents to justify establish continuing committee coordinated with the draft publication coordinated change committee status of the Department of Army Committee Management Office ARBZA Jefferson Davis Highway Taylor Building 13th floor Arlington Virginia 222-0239-264. Further determine to establish the group identified with the regulation later in the characteristic committee. The proponent will follow the AR 15.1 requirements for establishing and continuing a group as a committee. The publication is available electrical media on the intended with the command level C, D, and E of the active Army, Army National Guard of the United States, and U.S. Army Reserves. All right, your contents: Introduction, Chapter 1, Introduction, Purpose, Reference, Explanation, Responsibility, Army Rail Policies. Chapter 2, Determination, Authorization, Requirements, Locomotives, Track Maintenance, Equipment, Rolling Stock. Chapter 3, Operation Safety, Utility Rail, Operation Rail Safety, Operation Certificate, Rail Crew Qualification. Chapter 4, Acquisition, Standardization, Procurement Criteria. Chapter 5, Numbering, Lettering, Equipment Marking, Standards, Reporting Marks, Allocation of Numbers, Renumbering, Removal of the Markings. Chapter 6, Management of Railway Equipment, Inventory, Reporting Procedures. Chapter 7, Maintenance, Support of the Railroad Equipment, Maintenance Program Responsibility, Repair for the Supply and Support, Mandatory Inspection, Funding. Chapter 8, Repair, Replacement, Disposition, Railroad Equipment, Overview, Repair Criteria, Replacement Criteria, Remanufacturing Criteria, Disposition of Equipment, Maintenance, Performance, Rolling Stop, Operation, and Interchange. Appendix A, Reference, Equipment Numbering, and Army Locomotive Modernization Plan. Contents continue table list. B1 special cars Kanas and out Kanas. B2 standard multi-gauge rolling stock Kanas. B3 standard multiple gauge locomotives Kanas. B4 railway equipment other than standard multiple gauge Kanas. B5 standard multiple gauge rolling stock O Kanas. B6 locomotives on all gauges O Kanas. Table B6, table B7 railway equipment other than standard gauge, multiple gauge Okanas. Table C1, all Army locomotive modernization plans, page 15, glossary. Alright, Chapter 1 introduction.